one for you and you like once. Life move fast and you do what you want.
Hey y'all, LanisaJamia here, and I am back with a different type of video. So I decided, because my birthday just recently passed, I just turned 31, that I wanted to do a video about lessons that I learned in my 20s to early 30s. Even though I'm still kind of in my early 30s, I've been 30 for an entire year, and I can honestly say that shift, everybody always talks about that shift that happens when you just step into womanhood and you just stop giving AF, and you know, you stop people pleasing and all of the different changes that you go through. You step into this confidence, you exude this confidence. And so I can definitely attest to that I have been a person who's experienced that. And so I wanted to come on and share this video with you all, just some not necessarily tips, but some lessons that I feel like I learned. And also for my younger girls who are following my channel, some things that I wish I would have known prior to stepping into my 30s. It's not expected that you are to have everything together. You will not have all the answers. Life happens. Life be lifing. But I hope you all enjoy this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the video. Hey y'all, so before we get started, I have a few disclaimers. So number one, I have extremely noisy neighbors with a extremely loud dog. He likes to pounce and bark and run across the floor. So if you hear that coming from upstairs, I sincerely apologize. Disclaimer 2, I live in an extremely busy area. I kind of stay like in a marketplace, if you will. So you will hear cars, you will hear horns, you will hear alarms going off. Hopefully not, but I'm just giving you a disclaimer. If you do hear it, please do not be alarmed. We are going to continue on with the show. I made me a little drinky drink. I am in my mocktail era, so I made myself a lavender lemonade. It's so good, y'all. Oh, and disclaimer number 3, I will not always be looking in the camera because I have my lens here, my viewfinder here, my vanity mirror here, and I also have a smaller mirror that I'll be using as well. So disclaimer number 4, I will not be sharing the products that I'm using. So if you have any questions about any of the products that I use, just drop those down in the comment section below. Disclaimer number 5, I am not a MUA. So if I'm doing something that you don't normally do, or you feel like I shouldn't do that, or whatever the case is, please, if it's not constructive criticism, save it for yourself. So let's get into the video. Y'all, it's been so long since I have filmed like a sit down chit chat video. And I have been sitting on this video idea for the absolute longest. I feel like this is the perfect time to do it because I am now 31. Y'all know they always say a lady never tells her age, child. But I am now 31 and my birthday recently passed. So like I said, I just turned 31. And I feel like since I've been in my 30s, not even just since I've been in my 30s, like since I have, it started around like 27, 28. You know, I don't know what it is about your late 20s, but in your late 20s something just clicks. Like something just clicks, okay? And you are just kind of over the BS, over the games, and you know, you are becoming more selfish. You are letting go of that people-pleasing mentality, cultivating your circle, and you know, you're working on you, you're building you, you're working on you. So I kind of wanted to make this video for me to be able to look back on, obviously as a reflection type of thing, but also for the young girls who do watch my channel, kind of just share this information with y'all, because I wish I would have had somebody to share this type of information with me. One of the biggest lessons that I feel like I have learned in my late 20s and now that I am in my early 30s is the importance of spending time alone. Constantly feeling like you have to be in the presence of others is super unhealthy, and it honestly leads to codependency. Codependency is not something that you want to struggle with. So me personally, I grew up as an only child, so I'm pretty much used to spending time alone. And I started like taking myself out on solo dates maybe around, I would say 25, 26, and it was the best thing ever. At first, it was me just trying to escape from my home because I was living with my mom and my uncle at the time, and I just hated being there so often. So after work, I would take myself out to like lunch, and I would honestly just work on my goals, journal, and all the things, just to kind of take my mind off of like being in the house. So some of the things that I like to do now, which I mean, I still take myself out, but I love to go on solo dates. I'll go to the movies, I'll go to the bar, to the mall, or you know, just kind of just go for a ride. So like when you see me out like in Target or whatever the case is, sometimes I'm just honestly just spending time with myself. The next lesson that I feel like I have learned in my late 20s to early 30s is breakups are hard, but you will get through them. And I say breakups are hard, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about platonic and romantic relationships. People don't talk about how hard friendship breakups are. Sometimes friendship breakups can be a lot harder to get through than romantic relationships. My advice is to learn the lesson and move on, period. That's it. You have your whole life to find your tribe and your person. So again, learn the lesson and move on. And that leads me to my next one, which is relationships will change. And this is often due to the fact that as you get older, you know, people are growing families, getting married, moving away. It's not as simple to maintain said relationships as they were when you were in college. When we were in college, we had extreme luxury to be able to walk across the courtyard or past two buildings just to see our friends. And unfortunately, we don't get that same luxury today. Like, majority of my close friends do not live in Georgia. They stay in other states, which means a trip has to always be planned, you know? So like a trip has to be planned, or we're getting together for a celebratory reason, i.e. a baby shower, a wedding, bridal shower. So when I say relationships will change, some for the good and some for the bad, embrace the change and just try to adapt. Like, that's one of the things that me and a friend had discussed years ago, that throughout the course of our friendship, we have always just been able to adapt. And at the time, we were saying that we felt like that was the reason why our friendship had lasted so long, because no matter where life took us, we always made sure that we were able to adapt. Some people are not people who are easily adaptable when it comes to change. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. If it is a situation where you are having a hard time adapting to the change in the friendship, have a conversation. Have a conversation with your friend or your person. Another lesson that I feel like I learned was to stop oversharing. That was something that I struggled with as a young adult, especially when I first got to college. When I first got to college, I thought everybody was my friend. Like, oh, this my friend, this my friend, this my friend, this my friend. Because when I was in high school, I was so likable. I had such amazing friends when I was in high school. And it was just a shock to me when I got to college and realized how catty and how mean people could be. So if you are struggling with oversharing, I would recommend journaling. Of course, talk to a therapist. My rule of thumb is, if you do not want people to know about said situation, don't talk about it. No matter how much people say, oh, I'm not gonna say anything, you don't have to worry about me saying anything, people are still talking to their close friends, and their close friends are talking to their close friends. So just kind of be aware of that. Another lesson that I feel like I've learned is to choose people who choose you. And of course, that's easier said than done, but as you get older, your interests will change. And as we previously mentioned, your relationships with people will change. But relationships should not be hard. I know relationships are hard on the surface level. Yes, relationships are hard because you have to maintain them. You have to put in the work to maintain them. Relationships should be a space of nourishment and not a place that drains you. You should not feel drained after communicating with somebody. You should not feel drained after being around a person. And so that's something that I'm learning. Like, I'm paying attention to my body, how, this person is making me feel. How does my nervous system feel when I'm around them? Or just, just making plans. Like, am I exhausted? Am I excited about making these plans? You know what I'm saying? So that's something to consider. And then also ask yourself, why am I feeling this way about this person? What has this person done to me, or what is it? So when you get to feeling like that, when you get to that place, it's so important for you to kind of just ask God for discernment so that He can, help you get down to the bottom of why you are having said thoughts about this person. Asking Him, to reveal to you the things that you are not seeing, because oftentimes we stay in relationships longer than we're supposed to. We've seen the red flags. At this point, we at 6 flags. The next thing that I learned, be okay with missing out. I feel like in my 20s, I had FOMO real bad. And if you don't know what FOMO is fear of missing out. I don't even really feel like I had FOMO. I feel like it was me being a people pleaser. I was going to everybody's birthday dinner, everybody's birthday brunch, everybody's baby shower, everybody's this, everybody's that. Like, if I was invited, I was going to figure out a way to be there. And eventually I had to really sit back and just ask myself, like, what is your relationship with this person? And it's no hard feelings, but sometimes you really have to take a step back, because unfortunately in our lives we are going to come across people who like the idea of you but don't really like you. Let me say that again. In life, we are going to come across people who like the idea of us but don't really like us, okay? And that's something that you have to pay attention to. What is the friendship? What is the relationship with said person? Like, this, is this a surface level relationship, or is this a deeper level relationship? And at this phase in my life, I desire deep connections, genuine and authentic connections only. I don't want to just be at your celebratory functions. Like, I don't want to just come to your baby shower. I don't want to just come to your wedding. Like, I want to catch up. And so I had to kind of just stop being so available to everybody. You know, it was becoming draining. And then also too, how is this person showing up for me? I'm always making myself available to this person. How is this person showing up for me? I want to be in relationships where the energy is being reciprocated. Point blank, period. Next is to allow people to be there for you. And as someone who is hyper independent, self-sufficient, only child syndrome, I understand. When I say I understand that this is extremely hard to do, but you have to allow people to be there for you. I remember going through a season where I needed support. I needed love. I needed all the care. And I felt like people were so used to me kind of just always figuring it out and having it together. And this was the one time that I honestly did not have it together. I needed my support system. And so I didn't know how to ask certain people for things. Now, I will say I appreciate the ones who like showed up or whatever without me having to like give directions, but everybody don't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I say all this to say, like, allow people to be there for you, but you have to let people know how to be there for you. Open up your mouth. Everybody can't read minds. If these are people that you genuinely love and trust, it shouldn't be a problem with you being vulnerable with them. Another thing that I feel like I learned was rejection is necessary. Listen, that's it. That's the message. I don't even have anything else to say. Rejection is necessary. Know that God is protecting you. Know that God is redirecting you for a reason. So don't question it. It's gonna hurt, but learn the lesson. Like I said before, learn the lesson and move on. This one is so important. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your mind about a person, about a topic, about anything, as long as you acknowledge that, okay, I got new information and I was wrong initially. I want to change my mind. That has happened to me so many times. I have changed my mind about people, places, things. The next thing I would say is figure out your relationship with God for you and your spiritual needs. So many times people will try to project their own insecurities onto others when it comes to their spiritual journey and their relationship with God. And the thing is, everybody's relationship is different. You know, whether whoever your relationship is with, everybody's relationship is different. One thing that I will say that I don't like is when people find God and get extremely deep into the Word of God and start judging others. So don't do that. Another thing is your insecurities are lying to you. You are that girl, okay? I have struggled with this my entire life. You know, just kind of the fear of like being seen, the fear of being perceived. And I would often water myself down in spaces because I did not want to make other people uncomfortable, but also I was uncomfortable because when you are a person who is constantly being told, oh, you are extra, you are this, you are extra, like you do the most, you know, sometimes that can eat at you if you are not secure in yourself. So I will say in my 30s, my 30s came with a boost of confidence that I wish I had in my 20s and in my teenage years that I wish I had. Like being told extra, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being extra. Yes, I'm extra, girl, and I love it here. Alright, so I went ahead and finished my makeup and got dressed off camera for the sake of time. I didn't want to make this too long and drawn out. So now we are going to style my hair. Before I get into it, because I don't want y'all to be like, what the hell? I made a flip over method, aka a half wig, because flip over quick weaves and sew-ins are trending right now. So instead of doing something that I have to be committed to, I decided to make a wig, also for the sake of my business purposes, because obviously I specialize in wigs. We are almost to launch day, so click the link down below to make sure you subscribe to my email list so you will be a part of the VIP girls, the elite club, and you will be able to get first dibs on shopping experiences, sales, and things of that nature. But we're gonna go ahead and style this wig. So this is the wig. It is a Burmese curly wig. I believe this is a 16-inch, either 16 or 18. I can't remember. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and see what's happening up under this scarf. Yeah, so we're gonna take this off. This is the hair that I am leaving out. So another lesson that I would say that helped me thrive in my late 20s to early 30s is therapy. I went to therapy. I actually started therapy before it became a wave. I feel like I started going to therapy when I was about 25, 26. So part of the reason why I went to therapy when I was like 25, 26 was because I was in that transition phase. I had like just kind of graduated from grad school and I was working my job. I had been at my job for maybe about 2 years at this point, and I was ready for something new. I was in a relationship at the time, and we were having our little growing pains or whatever, and I was about to get ready to relocate. So a lot of just different changes. That was when I was introduced to what imposter syndrome was. My therapist talked to me about imposter syndrome and basically explaining to me that I was experiencing imposter syndrome because I just kind of felt like I was not deserving of certain things that were happening in my life. Like I was just experiencing a lot of highs and I just didn't know how to grasp it. But also I was experiencing a lot of lows. Like I was coming to my womanhood. I was trying to figure out who I was, what I wanted out of life, and things of that nature. And it was kind of starting to make me feel a little sad, a little lonely, because a lot of people were not in the same phase that I was in, you know. So therapy changed my life. Outside of that phase that I was in, it definitely helped me with maneuvering through a hard breakup that I went through with some friends, and a hard breakup that I went through with an ex-significant other that I was with. So if I don't give you any advice during this video, go to therapy. Okay, so I got a phone call, sorry. But I'm gonna say a few more and then I'm gonna end the video here. I did not want to make this video long and drawn out, so if you would like a part 2, just like and comment down below and let me know that you would like a part 2. Learn to forgive. That is something that has been the hardest thing for me to grasp. That's a concept that I am still honestly learning, but I still want to put this out here because this is something that I'm still learning. The misconception that a lot of people have is that once you go to therapy, you're healed. Or once you go through something and you're kind of over it, you're healed. But unfortunately, healing is not linear. You're going to constantly be learning and growing and healing through things through life. You just learn how to deal with them, to be honest. Forgiving people has allowed me to release myself from negative energy, you know, because when you are healing, you are trying to exude positivity, you're trying to exude happiness. And so if you are still allowing yourself to be held back by a situation or a person because you have not forgiven them or you have not forgiven yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice. Another lesson that I learned is boundaries are important. What you allow will continue. How people treat you is how they feel about you, but also how people treat you is a reflection of how they feel like you treat yourself. So you have to exude self-confidence. You have to step into any room showing people that you are confident in yourself and you are not going to allow anyone to walk all over you. You are not obligated to stick around or allow people in your space who makes you uncomfortable and who disturbs your peace. Okay, so set the boundary and let the chips fall where they may. And the last one is, you are not for everybody. I repeat, you are not for everybody. You will not be for everybody. It is not on you whether someone perceives you well, likes you, or whatever the case is. You will not be liked by everybody. That was something that was hard for me to grasp in my early 20s because, like I said, I went to high school, and I'm not gonna say everybody liked me, but it was rare that people did not like me. You know what I'm saying? If people didn't like me, it was because of something that somebody else said to them or a misconception or whatever the case is. However, as an adult, I don't give a damn. As long as that said person is not disrespectful or rude to me, I cannot control how someone else perceives me. And also, everyone's personality is not gonna mix, you know? So I would rather, if someone is not for me, that I remove myself or they remove themselves. We just don't mesh. We just don't mesh. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please hit the bell notification so you will be updated anytime that I post. If you like this type of content, if you like this video, please let me know down in the comment section below so that I'll know what type of videos you all want to see. Also, let me know down in the comments if you agree, if you disagree, and if you would like a part 2, because I got more. Y'all know I'm a chatty box, so I can definitely make a part 2. But again, LanisaJamia here, and I am signing out. Love y'all. See y'all in the next video.
Only been days, but it feel like months. When gone for you, only go like once. Life move fast and you know what you want.